Originate with the studio or with you guys?
No, it came from me. I had a general meeting with DC Comics to talk about things to do, and in the meeting I said, have you guys thought about a workplace comedy? And they said, no, that sounds good, and it was as easy as that, so yeah.
During the development of this comedy about insurance claims agents for superheroes, were you at all influenced by the fallout over the Man of Steel destruction?
No. But I will say that superhero movies and TV shows now are so serious, and that's a good thing. And the idea of what it would be like to live in that world and be a normal person without powers, and just frankly, how do you get to work in the morning when you're dealing with super-related craziness like a tidal wave from Aquaman, or just the aggravation of that just seemed like a funny thing to explore.
What kind of latitude did you have with the characters you could use from the DC world and things you had to sort of avoid using? Can you give me a sense of what they told you?
Have you seen the pilot?
I haven't.
I think if you see the pilot, I think you'll see they were very encouraging. They pretty much have opened up the candy store for us in terms of what we can reference, what we can do. But we purposely did not set it in Metropolis. We created our own city so that we could it sort of helps that outsider quality to the show. So we're within this city, we're using let's just call them less recognizable superheroes within the city, but that doesn't mean they don't deal with Green Lantern-related insurance claims that you hear about. You know what I mean?
What was the focus when you were assembling your writers' room? What kind of people you wanted to work on the show to script it?
Really hard funny. I want the show to be super hard funny, and then people who are good with character. And the comic book stuff was secondary because I know that, and we have a couple people that can bring that. But it was really just about delivering a good workplace comedy.
So visually, how did you kind of design things, and how, as a director, shooting it so that it kind of gives it its own distinct flavor, but maybe fits into the superhero world?
Right. Well, there's a big opening. There's a big action sequence in the opening of it, and sort of the visual conceit of it is as opposed to sort of like Flash or Arrow or something like that, where it's a show about putting you in the costume with the superhero. It's like having the experience of being a superhero. This is the experience of standing on the sidewalk watching it go over you. So you'll notice the entire opening sequence is shot underneath as things go past by, and it really gives it a sort of different feeling, and it puts you, the viewer, on the ground with the regular people who are really the stars of our show. So that's one of the big visual conceits of the show. And then the other one is in designing an office in which they work for a giant corporation, but they work in a sort of small backwater part of it. So the corporation itself is large and has a lot of Art Deco power signature things in it. But where they work are these really warm sort of fabric cubicles that resemble a sort of a really neighborhoody block in New York, or a village where everyone's got their own sort of hut that's decorated in their own way and is quite inviting. So they're this sort of really warm family inside of a giant corporate power structure, and that's relates to the theme of the show. So visually, that's sort of the touchstones of the show.
Are there any? Do you have any favorite obscure comic book characters that you could have some fun with?
That I think obscure that we can have some fun. Well, I don't know. I mean, right now we're sort of trying to, when we reference a character or an event, we want it to be something that people relate to and laugh at. But there's also, I will say, in every episode of the show that we've been breaking, obscure Easter eggs for DC and comic book fans. The sort of things that I would want to see if I watched the show. And DC's been awesome about that. I mean, if you watch the pilot, it's filled with stuff from Big Belly Burger to
Lex Luthor's autobiography.
Lex Luthor's autobiography. Beautiful Alex Ross drawings that double as, frankly, photographs on the cover of Rolling Stone. There's all sorts of fun stuff too. The characters of Marvin and Wendy, who are the twins in The Office, played by Kate Micucci and Josh Fadem. Those are inspired by the Super Friends cartoon in the 70s. So it's all throughout,
And you don't need to know that stuff, but it's another level.
Yeah, you don't need to know it.
That's all the time we have. So.
Thank you, Jann. One more, maybe? Okay, great.
Because Ben says. Can we talk about the casting and what made your ensemble the people to go on this journey?
Sorry, what?
Can we talk talk about casting? What made your ensemble of actors the people you wanted to go on the journey with?
Oh well, I mean, we found all these actors and went after them hard for the parts. We wanted people that you could love and care about and get behind. And when Vanessa became available, everything locked together for our cast. And then Danny Pudi we were lucky to get him. That guy's insane, crazy funny. And Alan Tudyk, he's amazing.
He's really funny, and he's kind of like almost like he's like for this world kind of legendary.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
Yeah, he's
perfect.
Biggest celebrity in a 3-mile radius here. I promise you. Thank you for the question. Good seeing you.